Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. So do me a favor before we dive into these topics. If you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're going to start here with a new Final Fantasy 16 PS5 bundle announcement. Coming from VGC, it says Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced a Final Fantasy 16 PS5 console bundle. It will include a standard PS5 console and a code to download a copy of Final Fantasy 16. Pre-orders will open on May 4th through PlayStation Direct, and the bundle will be released alongside Final Fantasy 16 on June 22nd. Sony has also announced a limited edition Final Fantasy 16 themed DualSense wireless controller and PS5 console cover, which I'll have up on screen so you can check it out. These will be released on the same day, but only in Japan, according to the PlayStation blog. So, unfortunately, if you are interested in the DualSense or the covers, they are only going to be released in Japan. But the bundle itself, if that's something anybody's interested in, is obviously going to be available to everyone. So just wanted to let you guys know about this, make you aware of it. The next topic in line talks about a new Sony patent that was discovered in regards to an optical disk drive, and this seems to suggest that we can expect a new PS5 model sometime very soon. So for those who have been following, there have been multiple rumors and reports that Sony is getting ready to basically relaunch the PS5 with a new model. And with this new model, you will be able to remove the disk drive, or buy one, I guess we could say, and attach it to the PS5. Essentially, it's going to be a PS5 with a detachable disk drive. Now, recently it was discovered by Segment Next that there was a patent filed by Sony Interactive Entertainment back in 2020, which just became publicly available. And it's actually separate from another patent that talks about the PS5 that we have out now with the disk drive. This patent seems to suggest that Sony was working on this for quite some time, and it's important to note that we have had zero evidence of this being a real thing. You know, we've only heard about this detachable disk drive model through the insider Tom Henderson, who has a very good track record and is reliable, so I don't know that many people are doubting him. But this is, in my opinion, important to take note of because it seems to be the first actual evidence coming from Sony that, yeah, this is something they've been working on, something they've been planning, and it seems very likely now that we will be hearing about this console much sooner rather than later. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. Now, the next set of topics we're moving on to has to do with the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal, but we have a very significant update on the situation. The UK regulator has officially blocked Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. This is being reported by VGC. Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard has been blocked by the UK's Competition and Markets Authority. After months of investigation, the regulator published its final report on the $69 billion deal on Wednesday and said it had prevented it over concerns it would, quote, alter the future of the fast-growing cloud gaming market, leading to reduced innovation and less choice for UK gamers over the years to come, end quote. The decision is the most significant yet in Microsoft's battle to get the acquisition over the line. The UK regulator is seen as one of the most influential in deciding the deal's fate alongside the EU and the US. In the US, the Federal Trade Commission is suing Microsoft in a bid to block the deal over competition concerns. The EU is still investigating. Microsoft has confirmed it will appeal the CMA's decision. The UK regulator wrote, quote, the CMA has prevented Microsoft's proposed purchase of Activision over concerns the deal would alter the future of the fast-growing cloud gaming market, leading to reduced innovation and less choice for UK gamers over the years to come. Microsoft has a strong position in cloud gaming services, and the evidence available to the CMA showed that Microsoft would find it commercially beneficial to make Activision's games exclusive to its own cloud gaming service. Microsoft already accounts for an estimated 60 to 70% of global cloud gaming services and other important strengths in cloud gaming, from owning Xbox, the leading PC operating system Windows, and a global cloud computing infrastructure with Azure and Xbox Cloud Gaming. The deal would reinforce Microsoft's advantage in the market by giving it control over important gaming content such as Call of Duty, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft. The evidence available to the CMA indicates that absent the merger, Activision would start providing games via cloud platforms in the foreseeable future. The cloud allows UK gamers to avoid buying expensive gaming consoles and PCs and gives them much more flexibility and choice as to how they play, allowing Microsoft to take such a strong position in the cloud gaming market. Just as it begins to grow rapidly, would risk undermining the innovation that is crucial to the development of these opportunities. In a statement, Microsoft's president, Brad Smith, said the company was disappointed by the CMA's decision and claimed it would appeal. We remain fully committed to this acquisition and will appeal. The CMA's decision rejects a pragmatic path to address competition concerns and discourages technology innovation and investment in the United Kingdom. We have already signed contracts to make Activision Blizzard's popular games available on 150 million more devices, and we remain committed to reinforcing these agreements through regulatory remedies. We're especially disappointed that after lengthy deliberations, the decision appears to reflect a flawed understanding of this market and the way the relevant cloud technology actually works. Activision said it would work with Microsoft on an appeal and criticized the CMA for what it called a disservice to UK citizens. The CMA's report today is a major setback for the UK's ambitions to be a tech hub, and we will work with Microsoft to reverse it on appeal, it said. So, yeah, on top of that, we also have Activision's CEO, Bobby Kotick, insisting that this is far from the final word on this deal. And I also want to give you guys an update. This is something that actually has occurred after we learned about this. So it's worth noting that this news of the CMA blocking Activision Blizzard and Microsoft's deal, this came out yesterday, but I have an article here that was written today by Push Square, and it says Microsoft goes scorched earth over UK's Activision buyout block. They say Microsoft already tried to charm the charm offensive to get its unfathomable $69 billion buyout of Activision Blizzard past regulators, and now the deal has been blocked by the UK's Competition and Markets Authority. It's just plain gone on the offensive. In an eye-popping interview with the BBC, President Brad Smith said the move was, quote, bad for Britain, end quote, and marked the firm's, quote, darkest day in our 4 decades, end quote, in the country. With an appeal pending, but analysts insinuating it's unlikely to shift the opinion of regulators, the trillion-dollar tech titan has turned to heaping political pressure on the UK government instead. Brad Smith said people are shocked, people are disappointed, and people's confidence in technology in the UK has been severely shaken. There's a clear message here. The European Union is a more attractive place to start business than the UK. Of course, the European Union still has its own regulatory process pending, and while it's expected the deal will pass on the continent, the same was said to be a formality in the UK just up until yesterday. For its part, the government issued a direct response to Brad Smith, particularly his words about the decision being, quote, bad for Britain, end quote, with a spokesperson suggesting the comments, quote, are not borne out by the facts, end quote. It's worth noting that the CMA is an independent organization and not directly part of the government. Smith proceeded to pile on threats, claiming that Microsoft could reconsider its investment in the UK, and added that the country needs to look hard at the role of the CMA and the regulatory structure. But the CMA disagreed, saying, we want to create an environment where a whole host of different companies can compete effectively, can grow and innovate. This is what the chief executive of the CMA said. While Sony originally worked hard to block this merger, it was ultimately obstructed due to concerns in the emerging cloud gaming market. Regulators argued that with Microsoft already owning Windows and server infrastructure, this was just simply too much, and they decided it just shouldn't go through. And so, yeah, this is some pretty crazy stuff going on here, guys. I wanted to be sure to get you all of the information, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. It's not that surprising. Maybe it is a little bit. We know that Microsoft is incredibly aggressive when it comes to wanting this to go through, but here's a couple of things that we need to keep in mind and everybody should be aware of. when it comes to the CMA, there has never been a successful appeal. The CMA has always won. So not only does Microsoft have to deal with that, they're claiming they are going to appeal it. They seem to believe that they have a chance of winning, but analysts and people who are in the know are coming out and saying that it's not looking good for Microsoft. It's not looking good for this deal. And there are quite a few people who are saying that it's over. This deal is dead. It's not happening, no matter what Microsoft does. On top of that, Microsoft still has to deal with the FTC. And on top of all that, we still don't have the European regulator's decision. We're going to get that next month in May. And people are under the impression that the EU is just going to come out and say, go ahead, Microsoft, you can have this. I want it to be known everybody was under that exact same impression until literally just yesterday when the CMA came out and said, actually, no, we're blocking it. The EU could decide to do the same exact thing and block it. And if that happens, if the European Commission decides that they're blocking it, then it's 100% over. Microsoft simply can't do anything about it. Right now, Microsoft is going berserk on the UK government, which is strange because, I mean, they're basically coming out here and insinuating to the UK government that, oh, we're going to reevaluate how we do business here, making it seem like, oh, maybe we're just not going to sell our products here anymore. And that's not going to happen. Okay. The UK is Xbox's second biggest market. They're not fooling anybody. They're not going to decide not to do business in the UK. The UK government knows this. The CMA knows this. This is just Microsoft trying to do anything they can to apply pressure because they are extremely unhappy about this. I mean, basically, this is like Microsoft punching air right now and trying to scare the UK government, and it's not going to work. And so, yeah, we've been covering this for a long time. And the final thing I'll say here before ending this video is this is a massive win for Sony. I don't know that Sony really expected this. The last thing we heard from Jim Ryan and Sony was something that I also grilled them for, which was saying that, their business would never recover, which I think was a tad bit dramatic and, definitely underplaying their position in the gaming industry. But who would have thought cloud gaming was going to be the thing to do it? It turns out that Sony not really doing much in the cloud gaming sector has worked out really, really well for them, because this is ultimately what made the CMA decide to block this. And I'm sure that when Sony and specifically Jim Ryan saw the news yesterday, they were absolutely celebrating. Why wouldn't they? They were the ones that have been trying so hard to get this exact result. So, yeah, I mean, this is where we are right now. It's not over yet. I mean, of course, we will see people saying that it's over. Microsoft has no chance, but it's not 100% over yet. But when it comes to Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard, it's looking dire, and it does seem like it's definitely a massive uphill battle for Microsoft, and there's a very, very good chance that it's just simply not going to go through. So there you go. That's the update I have for you on the situation. Be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Leave the video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.